Bold claim. Bold claim. But let's see if it measures up. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. It has been a while since I have been inspired to do a Star Wars video. And a while back, I have completely written off anything Disney Star Wars because all their shit or content is shit. And I still maintain that. Opinion. But this Screenrant, you have said some dumb shit in your time. This, however, oh boy, I can't wait to destroy it. This is from Nathaniel Rourke, who I'm guessing is writing an opinion piece, but this is a very weak opinion piece. So yeah, let's get into it. Disney canon has made the Sith even more savage than Legends. Right, right. Let's get into this. The Sith were powerful enemies of the Jedi in Star Wars Legends, but Disney canon has made them even more savage than they were in the old expanded universe. This dude is an EU hater, I'm willing to bet. In both continuities, the Sith were compelling villains in every era, whether they were an empire that rivaled the Jedi in size or an order of two that worked from the shadows. Star Wars Legends' decades worth of stories mean that there were countless Sith Lords who had plenty of vicious moments in their stories. However, Disney canon has managed to introduce new aspects of the Sith that make the Order even more brutal as a whole. Yeah, I can name one Sith Lord. Just one. I can actually name a slew of others that make Palpatine look weak. Because they're actually saying that, or they're going to get into how Palpatine is the GOAT. Well, hate to break it to you, no he isn't. One character who has served as a catalyst of how savage the Sith are in canon is Emperor Palpatine. While Palpatine cheated death in both canon and Legends, yeah, in Disney, not canon, Disney, his death made no sense. You see, there's a ritual called essence transfer. You need to perform this ritual and not be doing anything else in order for this ritual to work. And so, him somehow slingshotting his spirit across the universe while he's screaming and shooting force lightning down a Death Star shaft kind of makes it hard to do the ritual, you know? His comeback is even more terrifying in Disney's canon. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It lasted all of what? A few years? Where in the amount of time in Dark Empire and whatnot, he managed to rebuild the Empire and frickin' set it on the galaxy again. His comeback was displaying unbelievable dark side abilities and commanding an entire legion of Sith acolytes. Other Sith have done this in Legends. You're not saying anything else that has made him more badass or savage. The Disney faux lore comics expanded on Palpatine in the prequel era too, where he had a young Darth Maul breathe in the ashes of fallen Sith. That way, he would have a terrible vision to hate the Jedi. It was Palpatine in the comics who introduced the most savage aspect in canon, their red lightsabers. So you're saying that Palpatine introduced red lightsabers? Apparently you've never heard of the ancient Sith. Like Darth Malgus, I mean, even all the other Sith who had red lightsabers. But let's get into it. The Sith use kyber crystals to power their lightsabers, just like the Jedi, but Star Wars faux lore provided a new explanation for how they acquire these crystals in Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, #1, Charles Soule and Giuseppe Gamancoli. Palpatine explains to Vader that a red saber is no different than any other, except it has been made to bleed. Yeah, already, I would prefer the EU synthetics. The kyber crystals are alive, but because of their connection to the Force, meaning they can feel pain, which they never could. So a Sith pours their pain and rage into the crystal, and when at last the agony becomes more than it can stand, a beautiful crimson, the color of your rage. Wow. This explanation makes the Sith way more savage in Disney. This dude is just freaking coming in his pants, shilling for Disney right now, dude. This dude is basically having an orgasm, shilling for Disney while writing this article. I'm willing to bet that's how pathetic he is. In Disney canon, or Disney folklore, then in Legends. In the old expanded universe, the Sith created their own synthetic crystals to try to remain concealed from the Jedi, and while this may be a smart move, it's nowhere near as brutal. Actually, it is brutal. You want to know why? Because the synthetic crystals were stronger. They produced a stronger blade than Jedi blades. So yeah, where is your know-how in that? Why aren't you mentioning that? However, when a Sith Lord, Dark Knight, or Knight of Ren, or Imperial Inquisitor, well, the Knight of Ren, the Jedi were all extinct. So, how could they bleed the crystals of fallen Jedi? Doesn't make sense there. Imperial Inquisitors appears in Star Wars canon. It's known that the red blade is likely made by killing a Jedi and bleeding their lightsaber crystals. Here's another thing. When it comes to the Inquisitors, why not just use their own lightsaber crystals from their own lightsabers? Oh wait, that's right, because the Empire was destroying all the Jedi lightsabers. Because they had that stupid-ass comic. The origin of the Sith Kyber Crystal greatly expands Star Wars lore and makes the Sith terrifying villains. But it raises a few questions as well. How did the Sith remain hidden when they kept killing Jedi? Well, the EU actually explains that very well. And in such detail that it actually makes sense. You know, when Darth Bane and Darth Zana slaughtered an entire unit of Jedi on Tython. Well, unfortunately, those Jedi forgot to frickin' say what they were going after. And then they faked Bane's death to ensure that the Jedi thought that the Sith were gone. Since the Sith kept their existence secret for a millennium prior to the prequel trilogy, it's curious how they did so if they kept killing Jedi for their Kyber crystals. Well, that's because the dumbass Disney universe didn't frickin' explain that very well now, did they? Surely the Jedi would recognize a pattern of their members being killed by a lightsaber, or sense the Kyber crystal bleeding through the Force. Yeah, this just goes, you're killing your argument of how this is way more brutal, because it doesn't make sense. How is that more brutal? However, there are a few explanations for how the Sith stayed hidden, with the biggest being that they may not have killed Jedi every single time. Palpatine actually forbade Darth Maul from killing any Jedi. Wrong! Leading up to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, as he didn't want to risk revealing themselves too soon. Except that Darth Maul did kill Jedi before Episode 1. I have a channel, or not a channel, but a Twitter account called Valkorian, folks. At Valkorian2185 on Twitter. Look for my Sith thoughts back in February for Darth Maul. It lists his victims prior to Episode 1. But anyway, yeah. Continuing on, however, if the Sith did kill a Jedi every time, then there's a chance it could slip, or did kill a Jedi every time, then there's a chance it could slip under the Jedi's radar. There were approximately 10,000 Jedi Knights in the height of the Order, so the Sith could possibly get away with killing one Jedi in the Outer Rim. The prequel trilogy also shows how that the dark side clouded the Jedi's vision, preventing them from seeing a Sith Lord right under their nose. Actually, no. Well, yes, sort of. But the way that you're explaining it is saying that the Sith created this huge shroud of dark energy, when actually, yes, there was the ritual done by Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious that wrenched the order or the balance of the Force towards the dark, which the Force countered by creating the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. However, Palpatine also was able to suppress his Force presence and his Force sensitivity when in the presence of even the strongest Masters of the Order. Wow. It wasn't just the dark side, it was shutting himself not completely off from the Force, but suppressing his ability or his presence in order to stay invisible to them. Dooku actually described in the Episode 3 novel Palpatine as a black hole in the Force. You couldn't feel anything from him. That should have actually tipped the Jedi off, but you know what. Anyway, meaning the other Sith did something similar. Either way, the red kyber crystals have made the Sith even more savage in Disney canon than in Star Wars Legends. No, they didn't. And now the stories can continue expanding on their dark side practices. Savagery. More savage because of red lightsaber crystals. Did you know that the concept of imbuing something with the dark side is not all that uncommon? It actually exists in the old EU. Sir Zin, one of the first of the group of Sith, of Lords of the Sith who enslaved the Massassi and the Sith species, imbued talismans to protect her and other Sith, while also conspiring against those very same Sith, in order to keep or enhance their powers as well. Marka Ragnos, this guy here, imbued his sword with his own hatred in order to have a blade that could sustain battle against a lightsaber. Darth Vitiate here, Valkorion, Tenebrae, destroyed planets with the Force, consuming all of the life on the Force, or with the Force, and then using that same ritual, imbuing his life force with it, increasing his power in the Force, and also fueling his immortality. You also have Darth Nihilus, who did something similar. Because of the Malachor 5, he became the Lord of Hunger, where he had to kill Force-sensitive worlds in order to stay alive, because he was constantly dying and constantly hungering for more energy. But yeah, these Sith, all of these Sith, Ragnos, Vitiate, and Nihilus here, all of them would slaughter Palpatine. Palpatine also didn't create the red lightsaber crystal or introduce it. Disney canon doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because if they did, they would, or this idiot from this article here wouldn't have made this claim. He's a freaking moron. This dude was just trying to create an article to shill for Disney. He's trying to get Disney's attention, saying, "Oh, please give me something, Mr. Preacher Man. Please give me some early access or some sort of perks." All the while he's jizzing in his pants writing this article because he thinks that it will matter. Except that I just literally brought several explanations and other things to counter this very poorly written article. Actually, no, I won't even call it an article. I'll call it a rag. I mean, he may as well have used it to wipe his pants off. But anyway, folks, yeah. This dude is seriously demented. I mean, thinking that somehow the Sith are way more savage in the canon, or so-called canon, that is Disney. Please. Vitiate could wipe out Palpatine with a thought. So could Nihilus. Frickin' Sidious wouldn't even be able to stand against Nihilus. He wouldn't be able to harm him. But yeah, anyway, folks, thank you to Alora from OG Star Wars. Big shout out to you, girl, because you inspired me to check out this article and get into just how badly Disney has pulled some very stupid shit. And this guy, oh my god, Screenrant, fire your writers. Try to hire some more objective journalists. Because honestly, you're trying to get in the good graces of Disney. They don't care. They stopped caring about any sort of Disney fans and started pursuing their own agenda just to make more money. And it's failing. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of this freaking wet rag of an article from Screenrant? This writer should be ashamed of himself for trying to get the attention of Disney and shilling so badly that he looks like a pathetic simp. Anyway, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble, because we all know that these people are not.